and then we'll go from there. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on Blab. I called it the Angel Blab because I'm still figuring that out. This is my third one, and today we have the amazing Reginald Stinson. Okay, so this guy is a beast in the industry. Welcome, Keisha. Nice to have you here. He is a beast in the industry, and he is making serious moves. One thing I know from questions I'm getting lately, a lot of emails I'm getting about what's revving up to this holiday season is how do I actually have success in my business when it seems like I should be shutting down for the holiday. As we know, we all have a kind of a mindset of vacation or holiday break. Notice the air quotes because, I haven't had a holiday break since my senior year of high school. And even then, I don't think it was really a break. I think we went and visited colleges or something. It felt like I was still grinding. But it still took me like 10, 15 years to realize that there's no holiday break. That's a delusion. But, I was still fighting it. Like, no, I'm taking a break. I'm breaking. But it didn't work out. So knowing that, I thought I'd bring on a professional. Am I on the right side? Yes, professional. To talk to us about what are 3 things you could do to actually rev up your income in the last few weeks of the year, right? While everybody else is spending money, how about you get some of that money? But we're going to get to that a little later, not right off the cuff, but that is what you'll find out if you stay with us all the way to the end. All right. So Reggie, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Now, is it okay if I call you Reggie or should I call you Reginald?
Well, you already called me Reggie, so it's too late.
I can apologize and take it back. I do that. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong.
No, it's fine.
Because I don't like when people call me Shay Shay or something like that. I'll be like, that's not my name.
No, it's fine.
You're good. My godson's father is actually named Reginald, but he goes by Reggie. But on Facebook, there's many times and on my phone too that I've sent him messages for you, and he'll be like, Shalonda, what are you talking about? And I'm like, Reginald. Oh, it's the wrong one. Y'all are the only 2 I know. So, So how is everything? Are you ready to get going for the revving up for the holidays? What are you doing? How's the family? How's everything going, big baller?
Everything is good. I had to actually send them upstairs all the way back to the other end of the house so we can do this quietly. But everything is going extremely well. I'm definitely excited about the holidays. The holidays are typically the most busiest times, one of the most busiest times for entrepreneurs. So definitely setting some things up and positioning myself to be able to take advantage of that big rush.
Nice. When you were talking, I did hear an echo, so I just muted out. That's usually me. That has happened before. I was told to get a headset, but that messes up my hair. So I don't think I'm going to do that. but I will mute out when you talk. Okay. So let me ask you, first off, how long have you been in the network marketing industry, in the internet marketing industry? Maybe let's go with network marketing first and then to internet, because really in some situations, 2 totally different things. Some people are internet marketing, don't know anything about network marketing, So let's talk with network marketing first. How long have you actually been?
Well, I've been in network marketing since 2006 and internet marketing since 2008, 9, somewhere around that time frame.
Okay. And what brought you to the network marketing industry? I know a little bit about your background. I'm going to let you go ahead and share what you would like to share today. But what was it that made you decide that there must be another way? I can't keep doing it this way. I got to break out. What was it that caused?
Okay. Well, there was a lot of factors. One of the main factors is we were broke. I mean, just being flat out honest with you, we were broke. And due to my past situation, I couldn't, get normal jobs that will pay a lot of money in the beginning. So because of that, I started looking for different sales positions because I found out early on, I kept hearing sales is the highest paid profession in the world. And obviously my thought process and mindset was a bit different than what it is now. So I was looking for sales jobs initially, did a couple, hated it. And I just kept searching though. And I ended up going to a network marketing meeting from a popular financial services company that a lot of people know. And fell in love with the concept. Didn't join that particular company. However, I fell in love with the concept. I seen the check. They passed around the check in the room. I'm like, man, I can do this. So got into the industry basically because, like I said, we were broke. We were living in a bad situation. I've already personally, before I got married, experienced the lowest of lows. So I couldn't go nowhere but up from that point, and I gave it a shot. I saw it as an industry that could change our life and put us in a better position financially. Due to testimonials I've seen around me, for example, was one that really resonated with me when I first got in. It was this lady. She dropped out of high school and she worked at McDonald's, and she ended up joining the industry in network marketing and earning like well over $250,000 in a short period of time. Well, $250,000 a year. So to go from McDonald's, which I never worked there, but you don't make anything at McDonald's, let's be honest, to $250,000 a year, that was very inspirational to me. And I just love the concept to be able to, build a team and create that leverage and time freedom through network marketing. So after having cars repossessed and, several times, and living in a bad neighborhood, going through all that told to know, I'm like, it has to be a better way than for us to pay $30,000 for a 1999 Dodge Dynasty. Now, I don't know if you remember those, but seriously, it's like when you are in that lower income bracket, you are in position to be manipulated by things that happen in the world because, there's different situations, such as you may not have proper credit or whatever, to where you're manipulated to putting yourself in a bad position and more debt, which we don't really think about. So I saw this industry, like I said, as a way to just change our life, and I just went for it after that. I mean, that's the quick version of the story.
Nice. With that being said, you said a few things just now, mainly about where you came from and that kind of thing. A certain kind of mindset is kind of instilled in you growing up in a certain environment, right? What was it that allowed you to press past some of the conversations that were going on in your own head? Does that make sense? I'm making sense. Like what caused you to ignore the conversation that was going on in your head that basically came from what had been instilled in you before you could even say your own name? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, simply because, you always have that side of you that's doubtful, so to speak. I mean, we're human. You're always going to have seeds of doubt that may have been planted by other people, or seeds of doubts that you may even create yourself. And then you have that other side that's saying, hey, I can do this. And growing up, my mom, she was a single parent or whatever when she raised my brother and I on that side of the family. And, she's a hustler. I mean, not in a bad way. Some people perceive that as being bad, but she was a hustler. I've definitely seen her struggle raising us, doing whatever she had to do to put food on the table. And she taught me earlier on, growing up, on how to be independent. But unfortunately, I took that, what she taught me, and turned it into a negative initially. I was doing everything wrong, in the streets, drugs, all that stuff. So after going through all of that, I reversed it and turned all what was instilled in me into a positive, and that became what you see today as far as a success standpoint. So I basically just reversed that energy and turned it into something positive.
Nice. Shout out to single moms out there making it happen. The single mom hustle is not necessarily a bad thing. It's motivating. That's good stuff. So I can definitely relate to that. I was raised by a single mom too. She just went more of a professional. She's a PhD. She's a psychologist. She's a professor. Did the whole academia thing. Couldn't walk in her shoe steps because academia just wasn't. Yeah. Couldn't do that. But yeah. So okay, cool. Now I'm loving this. Now let's see here. Where to go next? I'm trying to keep it fun. I'm kind of excited. I don't know if you guys are on here. If you're watching the replay, thank you. And if you're here watching us live, just go ahead and get some paper out. I've already been taking notes. because whenever I'm in the midst of an individual who's where I desire to be, who's taking different routes that I haven't taken, I take notes and I implement those notes. So I recommend today that you write one thing down that you're going to leave this interview with and go do it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today, like in the next 45 minutes after we're done, right? After we're done, not now, because we got to give you what's okay, so just what to think about. Now, okay, let's see. What's next? Let's dig in. What exactly are you planning to do over the holiday season as far as income producing activity? Not necessarily the 3 principles for anybody out there, but you personally, someone who's made 500, $500,000, $1 million. I'm not even sure if I think by now you're probably at like 800,000, right? It's kind of funny because when I say $500,000, I see like 500,000, right? And it was funny because about maybe a year or so ago, I was house hunting in my area. And when I go house hunting, it's really like visualization class, right? You go through the neighborhood, you go through houses, and you see, I go in big houses because that's what I want. I'm not going to go look at some $25,000 house or $250,000. I'm going to go look at a big house. So I saw this house I wanted. My dad calls me. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm house hunting. He's like, okay, what are you looking at? I said, I'm in this house. I'm up on the balcony looking over into like the family room and the kitchen. And I have French doors behind me for the master bedroom. Like, I can do this. There's a fireplace, in the master bedroom going into the bathroom. Like, if you're in the tub, the fireplace is like on both sides. It's hot, right? So my dad's like, well, how much is it? I was like, oh, it's only $500,000. He was like, that's $500,000. I said, no. It's $500,000. He was like, Shalonda, now we on the phone for real. My dad's retired sergeant major. He like, Shalonda, that's $500,000. I said, Dad, no, it's not. It's just $500,000. And then he was like, Shalonda. And I was like, oh, that is $500,000. The whole time it hadn't even occurred to me. And to me, 500,000 was just kind of like 100,000. It wasn't like $500,000. When you say $500,000, it just looks a lot bigger. You know what I'm saying? But it made sense when I considered the house I was looking at. Once it clicked what he was saying, I was sitting there like, well, this house still got a lot of perks. It got a lot going on, So now you're probably practically knocking at $1 million door. So I don't even want to say 500,000 because, in my mind, that did connect. But so you're probably knocking at $1 million. Where you are today, I'm going to ask you this now, and then later I'll ask you what you did before. But what are you doing today that you're planning up and revving as your income-producing activity over the next 3 weeks, next 4 weeks?
Okay, well, let me say this first. All right. The last couple of years, I was rolling with that 800,000, but then when I actually checked my stats, I actually have earned over $1 million this year already. So you can combine that.
Congratulations! I had to unmute for that. Yeah. Okay. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Oh, definitely. God is good. Definitely give glory to Him for that, because I wasn't really paying attention to that until I actually checked to notice that. But what I'm doing honestly is, I'm gonna try to say this without getting into the other stuff. But what I'm doing personally is just really focusing on. Obviously, you have to focus on, again, it's kind of hard to talk about this without talking about the other stuff, but branding is essential during the holidays, especially branding, making sure that you're just constantly promoting it in people's face, giving value, obviously, but definitely making sure that you're doing things that's going to create dollar signs or create a commission. So whether that's coming through you marketing, whether it's on Facebook, Craigslist, or any marketing strategy, you want to make sure that you are consistently putting information out there. But before you actually give all the meat and potatoes or whatever it is that you're offering on the back end, that you grab that contact, that you grab that lead. Because one of the biggest mistakes that most people make in the beginning is that, it really is twofold. Number one, they're not grabbing the lead up front before they give the information. And two, they're giving way too much information before they grab the lead. So my focus now is really focusing on, obviously, leading with the brand, your brand, whatever your brand is, You.Inc. Or if you're building a community around a certain team name or whatever it is, you focus on leading with that, leading with value, and make sure that you're constantly in people's face. Because a 7-figure income earner taught me this, because, again, I struggled with this in the beginning because You know, I've heard 2 emails a day keep the JOB away. And I'm like, man, it's just a cliche because it sounds good. But I'm like, man, it's just a bunch of, it's just a cliche. It doesn't work. But it's true. Because here's the thing that you all really need to know, that if you're not in the face of your following or in the face of your subscribers, if you're not emailing them, if you're not selling to them, then someone else is. It's just the reality. It's a competitive thing, and they're on different lists, and they're constantly seeing other people. And if they're hardly ever seeing you, then you cannot expect to be able to monetize those people or monetize that list. And monetization is not necessarily a bad thing, because some people look at it, well, I don't want to take people money. You have to get past and beyond that, because Fortune 500 companies don't have a problem with selling us stuff. I just bought something from Walmart for my little sister the other day, and now they sending me stuff about baby stuff now. I'm like, I ain't having no more kids, so why are you sending me this? But I bought her something because she's having a baby. And when you buy stuff from Fortune 500 companies or major corporations online, quote unquote, you are being added to their database, their mailing list. And through that, now that you're on their buyers list, whenever there's a sale or a promotion or whatever it is, they're constantly selling to you during the holidays. Sometimes you get 1 or 2 emails a day, sometimes even 3. So it's all about being consistent with your promotion and however you do it to make sure that you are in front of people with your offer constantly, because if you're not, someone else is.
True. That's true. Hope someone I wrote that down.
Oh.
See, it's something else, guys, as far as having content to stay in front of your market over and over and over. I'm taking notes right now because I plan on turning around and putting out content about what Mr. Reginald has said today, right? So always having content around you to turn around and give out to the marketplace, right? Especially when you know it's valuable, right? So there you go. I like that idea. Okay, where'd you go, Reginald?
Listen to you. I'm turning the lights on.
Okay. I'm going to think about my next question here because I look at my list. Some of them just seem like, I got to make sure I take pure advantage of this time I have with you. I'm talking to a 7-figure earner right now. I just got a little nervous real quick. I remember when. This is good stuff. So we went over what you're doing now. So we're looking at the last, let's say 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. What was it you did, or you would tell? What would you tell? Let's say from now. What would you tell the newbie, right now? We're not going to give those 3 necessarily principles, even though I think the one you just said about staying in front of your market because they're staying in front of you. I know Keisha had mentioned that they're emailing her daily. I think Divas Designs as well. I know, I get emails all the time, and I try not to look at them. But with the holiday season, they be catching me off guard. What's even worse is if you're at your desk where you normally are, if you work from home, like most of us here do, you're at your desk, you're looking at your emails, and your 8-year-old like stalking behind you, looking over you at your computer, like, is that an email from Toys R Us? Are they having a sale? Mom, if you spend $65, you'll get $10. I'll be like, no, that no. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so even with that, you know what I'm saying, with the kids constantly picking up the phone, looking through your email for you, it's a new age. Kids today are doing big things, right? So what would you tell the newbie? And honestly, I take notes here because I have a 14-year-old and I'm trying to train her up in the way that she should go. And I'm noticing that even today, as many entrepreneurs that we have here, it seems like the majority of individuals are like this, but the reality of it is it's still in the school system. They're still training up our children to be employees. They're still training up our children to have the mindset of a job. So when I'm asking you this, I'm telling you personally, I'm asking to see what you say, because I take that information, I give it to my 14-year-old to help her understand why here are some things you can do right now. She's thinking about doing a little YouTube channel. I'm trying to show her how to monetize that thing and make it work. But, consistency has to be in play. And 14-year-old girls that are cheerleaders and freshmen in high school aren't really the most consistent when it comes to they're consistent in checking the Instagram, but not consistent in posting on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? but tell me, what would you tell the newbie over the next 4 weeks? This one thing could change everything for you. This one thing can change your entire outlook on how you start 2016.
Well, there's a whole lot I can go over, but what I will say is here's where the biggest breakthrough actually came for me, because when you're getting in network marketing or internet marketing, or I'm just going to say the home base, that'll cover everything. The home based business industry, you know, you're kind of like, I guess, someone in the jungle. It's like a jungle out there almost, because it's so much going on, so much information, and you can very easily become overwhelmed. And in the beginning stages of my career, you know, I was like a guy in the jungle who didn't really know which way to go. And I became extremely overwhelmed, and I was following everybody, trying to do what everybody did. And I was trying to do what everybody, or be everybody. Let me say it like that. Be everybody. Now, it's one thing you following and modeling yourself after someone who's successful, but it's another thing when you're actually trying to be them, talk like them, and do all that stuff. And for years, I was trying to be certain people and I was not being myself. I lost myself in that process because I was trying to be other people. But when I learned how to be myself in this industry, be the best me versus trying to be someone else, that's when I had my first 6-figure year in this industry. That's when the light bulb went off. Instead of me trying to talk like, sound like, be like, or whatever, when I said, hey, I'm going to focus on being me, and take what I've learned and model myself after them while being me, that's when the first 6 figures happened in this industry. And aside from that, when 7 figures came, we have to understand that regardless whether you are whatever type of business model you're in, it's still a business, you know, and sometimes we take it for granted because we don't necessarily pay a whole lot in overhead, like thousands of dollars a month, like your traditional brick and mortar. You know, it's very easy to take that for granted and say, hey, you know, it's just a hobby or thing or whatever. You know, if it don't work in 2 months, I'm out of here. That type of thing. But when I began to put my business hat on and think like business owners, study Walmart, study Apple. Apple is probably the best marketing firm and company I've ever seen in my life. I mean, if you want to learn how to do a product launch, watch Apple. Like, their product launches are so huge and they do minimum upgrades, but they always sell out of stuff when they launch it. So instead of criticizing certain things like that, because they're a business, we need to study corporations like that and take from that and see how you can apply it to your business. The same rule applies when you get emails from different major corporations. I actually take the time out to study that stuff. Well, what language did they use? You know, what was the process of them sending me this email? I'm looking at all of that to see how I can implement that in my business, because this is a business. And if you start to study and treat it like that, study Oprah Winfrey website. Somebody mentioned that Oprah Winfrey got some killer copywriters. Her copywriting is killer. It's gangster. Sick. You can learn a whole lot. I don't just study people in network marketing. I study people in major corporations because it's all buying psychology. Whether you're in network marketing, home business or not, it's all buying psychology. You have to learn the language to speak to your customer to get them to take an action to make a purchase. So who best to learn from than major corporations? That's $1 million tip. They do it better than any of us. You know, those are billion dollar companies.
Yes, that's interesting you said that, because from all the interviews I've done so far, one thing consistently is that pay attention and learn. Keep learning, keep watching and studying and learning and then implementing. So what you just said was very crucial. Of course, I did take the notes. Y'all think I'm playing? Take some notes. Take notes. Because in a second, he's going to be very hard to reach. He's going to be stepping back. And then you know how millionaires do. No, I'm playing. So, okay. That's pretty good right there. I like that. Thank you so much for sharing with us today the way you are, because I see that you're sharing just clear, open, honestly, and we just appreciate that here. I know that. So now, okay, let's get into making my time here. Okay, because I don't like to hold up your time. I know everybody's getting ready for traveling and that kind of thing. But 3 principles to double the income from your MLM business by the end of the year, right? And honestly, instead of just saying MLM business, I would say business period, because many of us know that you have your MLM, but then you also have your affiliates, you have things that feed in. So just in case someone says no to your primary, they might say yes to something else, right? So let's just say double your home-based business income, whatever that might all encompass, right? What would 3 principles be that you would give to, I'm going to say your team, because I know you always have a team. Get shout out to you, OP, right? You are the only one I have put on an email. I was like, when your business team actually becomes, like when there's reviews written on your team, not the company that your team is a part of, but reviews on your team name, oh, you done hit the spot. You done done something now. Because, I was doing my research before our interview. I told you, I'm going to go do some research real quick. I had seen something about you, I guess had done some jail time or something and came out. And then I was like, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that, Reginald. Okay. But okay, that's okay, little brother. So, look at what you did with your freedom, right? Praise God. So, but then I was doing research and I literally saw like 2 reviews as if it was a review on a network marketing company written on your team. On UOP, on the unit of prosperity, on the unit, right? I call it the unit all the time. So on UOP, I saw 2 reviews written as though you guys had a product line, right? You had what you do, whatever business you're in at the time. I'm sure you do, but it was written as though you guys were the founders of the company, and I was like, now that's what's up. Now that is something I could appreciate. That is serious exposure. That's serious training. And that's serious respect going right to you right now, Reginald. That is a great way to build, and build, and not just build your family and yourself, but build the families of the teams of the members who join you and lock arms with you, right? So what would you tell your team? The 3 principles to double their income between right now, November 20th and December 31st.
Okay, well, I can go on and on about that. I just gave y'all 2, but we're going to give you some more. We're going to give you some bonus tips. The first thing is you have to have a goal in mind. That's the first thing. You have to know what it is that you're striving for, because, again, if you're trying to double income or whatever, what income are you trying to double, first of all, and what's your strategy to be able to make that happen? So you have to set a goal and you have to have a strategy to back each goal that you set for yourself. That's one of the most important things that most people don't write down their goals. They just kind of have it all in their head and you end up forgetting about whatever it is that you set for. The second thing is you have to be focused on what it is that you're going to do. If you say that, look, this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to do it no matter what, it has to be that. You can't. I mean, it's very difficult, to try to do things unfocused. It's very difficult. I've tried it for years and it just doesn't work out well. I mean, you're spreading yourself too thin when you're trying to do that, especially as a newbie. You have to give yourself time to learn one thing before you try to bring on a whole bunch of other stuff. And you got to be focused in a way to where if things don't take off initially as you think they should, that you keep going no matter what, because again, you have to do business with the end in mind. What's the outcome of what I'm going to do? And sometimes certain trials that we experience in business come to build character, because you have to have character, you have to have posture, you have to have a lot of things to become a leader in this industry, because you deal with all types of people. And that's just the process. That's just the grind that we all have to go through. The next thing is you have to, I think everybody should focus on establishing a community. And you can build communities within the community you already have. We do it all the time. But having a community presence out there is probably one of the biggest things and the most important things as well that you can do. Because once you build that community within a community, if you're already in one, then you will have that group of people that will only want to work with you based upon your community, and that happens. People want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And if they don't sense or feel that, then what's the benefit of them joining you? you have to think like that. So, we have Keisha on here, for example. I see her giving the likes. She got her own community, WWN, Winning Women Network, her community. Oh, so it's all about establishing your community presence and leading with that community presence, because that is what's going to draw people to you. That is what's going to also put you in a realm of where you're targeting a specific market of people that will want to and that will only work with you, and that will pay you for life. Once you build a community presence in this industry, that community, if you build it right, will pay you for life, not just the holidays. Every day will be a holiday. Every day will be an income tax experience. I remember, we used to live just for the income tax. How many people can relate to that? Every year, hey, I'm going to get $6,000, $10,000, for income tax. And then you spend it all in January or whenever we used to get it back then. And then the rest of the year you broke. Like, how would you like to have that experience every single day, every single month? I mean, the reality is, so whoever's watching this, I'm going to give a shout out to you as well, since I'm on your Blab. Definitely appreciate you for having me on here. And if you are on her list, because I know you probably sent this out, you all definitely want to connect with Shalonda and find out what she's doing to create income, because what she's doing is extremely powerful, and it can put you in the best position to not only create an income, but also to give you the skills needed to be successful in this industry, because it's all about skills and it's all about growth and it's all about development. And what she have for you all will definitely position you in a way to where you're able to have all those things all in one umbrella, all in one roof. So definitely appreciate you for having me on here.
Thank you very, very much. I'm honored that you came to talk to little old me, because I saw you explode up, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's what's up. And I just love seeing like people that I like watching people reach from one place to another place to another place. Even Keisha as well, from one place to another place, another place. I just sit back and be like, wow, this is awesome. You know what I'm saying? And I guess in my situation, I get a little comfortable, and then I get stuck in my family life. And, the single mom life is interesting. I was just talking about that the other day, like, wow, I feel like I have a lot to do. Like, there's a lot to get done. And my pastor was like, Shalonda, I told her, I said, I feel lazy. She was like, you're not lazy, you weary. You got to be on 10 all the time every day, because my kids just see me. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great. We live in a smaller house. It's a ranch. I really ain't got no space. I could just go and like scream unless they're at school, which I do. But so, really listening to your story and seeing other stories are very motivating to keep going and going and going and going, and never, holding back, not stopping, continuously making moves, which is another reason why I think the timing was so clutch that I was able to bring you on now before Thanksgiving. Another reason why I'm taking notes is because, like I said at the beginning, honestly, I'm 40 years old. I ain't gonna act like it ain't been instilled in my head. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 19, but not really understanding the mindset of it all until maybe 8 years ago, truthfully. So still trying to combat the idea my kids are all off. And when they're off, I have to focus. Like you said, you're number 2, be focused on what you are going to do. I have to literally be very focused and tell the my girls, look, mom has to get this done. I understand you're out of school. You know what I'm saying? Now, this time my 8-year-old got some work to do. So convenient. I'm like, yep, you read and I'm going to blog. You read and I'm going to blog. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a good thing. But when you said number 2, that being focused, that is very good. Establishing a community presence, that is very good as well. Would you recommend an individual who has been online for a little while, a short period of time, when would you recommend they start to try to create this community? Immediately or after a while?
I will say immediately, knowing what I know now. You got to start now. I mean, actually the Unit of Prosperity was actually something I had back in 2008, 2009. Nobody knew who it was or what it was back then. And I used it. I had my own training website and all that stuff, because you have people that will only follow you regardless. And these people have joined and aligned themselves with you for whatever reason, because they saw something in you. Okay, they saw leadership in you. If you talk to them, sometimes people just join, but in most cases, people see something in you, and I think that's important that you have that and that you start building that from the beginning. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything overcomplicated or too complex, but I recommend that you start that immediately because that's your brand. And talking about branding in itself, that's a whole nother thing in itself. But I'm a believer, okay? And I'm going to say this. I'm a believer that everybody should have their own brand. If you're really looking to build a $1 million business in this industry, you have to have a brand that nobody else can copy. When I had Unit of Prosperity, that was nothing anyone have ever had in this industry. It was not a common name that you would hear, in different companies. So I built it strategically so that if I'm going to put all the energy into branding this and building this community, I don't want someone to come in and sweep it from under my feet in another company and talk about their UOP. Can't nobody do that because, I got it trademarked. It doesn't cost a whole lot to do that for you all that's thinking I got it trademarked. I got the logos trademarked. Everything is patent trademarked. So nobody can come in and do that. So that way you can really put your all into building your brand in a way to where you don't have to worry about somebody coming in and take it because you hear stuff all the time and there's nothing wrong with it, I guess. But, same team names, different companies, I'm not going to name team names, but pretty sure look, there's no shade, but it's like, okay, well, it's nothing really unique about it, and when we did it, it was like, well, this is unique. I never heard it before. And, I really feel like I'm a part of something special because no one else can copy it. And once you put yourself in that position and you focus on leading with that brand, you will build a brand that will pay you for life, even beyond that with marketing. Sometimes you got to think beyond this. Okay, beyond this.
Very nice, very nice. You did a very good job of putting your all into that brand because that is yours. Trust. I mean, I remember seeing the post when you had trademarked it as well. I remember you saying it's official. I was like, oh yeah, that was good. So, okay, good stuff. Let's see, we got 11:37, so we got about another 10 minutes here. Okay, I do want to ask one more question. And this question, trying to add all the suspense, right, to make it seem like it's going to be something really, really good, right?
This wasn't a pre-scheduled interview. I really don't like doing those when people send you questions. So you kind of scaring me now with this one.
Really? I just, questions or anything. You was kind of like, do whatever. But to me, that says that, we have trust, right? I'm not going to come out here with no craziness because I love you and your family and you have the means to come and find me. Plus, I have family in Nashville. So, I don't know. I got to be cautious. No, but seriously, where you are now, this might be a question that nobody really wants to know the answer to yet. I'm going to ask it anyways because I want to know. Right? So where you sit now, and when you look at your family, your wife, your life, and how it is now based on the industry, I know with the network marketing industry, there have been ups and downs, right? There have been times when it's like, I don't curse, but if I cursed, you would be seeing like a little bubble with all these like strange characters in it, whatever, this industry, right? Or, but then there's days when you're like, yes, this industry, what I'm saying? Be it being a entrepreneur, not necessarily network marketing, internet marketing, we're marketers, marketing, but just being an entrepreneur, having your own brand, your own business, that kind of thing. Where you sit now, is it all worth it? And I say this because I get a lot of emails and I get the whole woe is me email story, right? I did this, they did this to me. I did this, they did that to me. I asked for help. I couldn't get nobody. We've all been there, right? We've all been there. It's just a question of what are you going to focus on? You going to focus on that or are you going to focus on what you can do, right? So where you are now, because you didn't give up, because you didn't take no for an answer, because even if someone told you no or said you can't, you said okay to that, but found another way. How does that add to your dynamic of your life today? Like, were there times when can you remember a time when you almost gave up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say this because, and I have to say it this way because I want to paint a picture for everybody that's listening to this live and for those that are going to hear the recording. Here's why I go so hard. One of the main reasons why. And sometimes, especially as people, we take life for granted. We really do, and we really don't appreciate where we are and what we have. And we don't really, and it's not like it's intentional. This all happens unconsciously because we had a great life for the most part. Even if you grew up poor, you had a great life. Because if you look at people in other countries, they're in more severe situations than where we are. So when that situation happened with me as a juvenile, when I ended up getting locked up or whatever, and it was my first time offense, I didn't kill anybody, didn't rape anybody. Let me throw those two things out. But I've seen people come in the same situation that had murder charges, and I've seen people that had rape charges get off, and I didn't. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I was a first time offender, and I'm like, the system is screwed up, but that's a whole other subject. But anyway, I was a first time offender. I'm like, God, I don't understand this. Like, why am I having to go through this when I'm seeing people that have done things worse than I've done get off, kill people, almost kill people, raping people, getting off, and I didn't. And then when they said 36 years, I'm like, what? You know, they was trying to hang me. So I'm like, hold on. So, but God ended up working out that situation, but I ended up having to do a very difficult probation called community corrections here, which I overcame that very easily. I made it look easy, and it built character. And what I didn't realize is that God was positioning me for where I am now. So even through that, there was another situation to where I ended up getting caught up into a scam unknowingly, okay? Because I was on probation. You know, they didn't care. I had all the evidence documented black and white that I did not do this, okay? And this was those Nigerian scams, and I'm not knocking Nigerians, but y'all probably heard about that, the check thing. I don't know if you got that, and I didn't know about that. I didn't know anything about the internet back then. So I'm like, yeah, I got a job, I got this check, you know, whatever. And I go into the bank to cash a check or whatever, and then this thing, you know, the police pull it up. So I'm like, you know, they wasn't trying to hear nothing in court. And then from that, they ended up violating probation. I ended up experiencing prison. So I went from juvenile to jail to prison. And I'm like, okay, I'm here, and I know I'm innocent. Everybody know that, but I still have to be here. And I'm like, this is the season that God had to take me through to get to where I am now. And after experiencing all that, you know, I knew, again, like I said, I've experienced the lowest of lows in life. So I just knew that things could not get any worse than what they already have. And that I just got to go all out and do this regardless of how I feel. Because success is not necessarily of being successful, of building a legacy. It's not always about how you feel. There's going to be days to where you're not going to feel like doing anything. There's going to be days to where you feel like quitting. That's just business. You know, even in a traditional business, I've managed businesses. You're going to feel like that. You're going to feel like firing everybody, all employees. You're going to feel like not coming in. It's just the nature of the beast. However, at the end of the day, you have to understand that there's someone that's in a worse, more severe situation than where you are, and that you have an opportunity of a lifetime to change your life. And you have to seize that opportunity, because I've done worse things as an employee for money than I have as an entrepreneur. And a lot of people can relate to that. I work on construction sites, making $7, $8 an hour, working 12-hour shifts, and only coming home with like $80 a day, or not even that after taxes. And every job that I've had, okay, has been far more labor intensive than the life of an entrepreneur. Far more labor intensive. You know, you have to get up when they say you got to get up, you got to be there, you got to go on break. You know, you're working, you're breaking your back. You know, I even sold Kirby vacuums, going door to door, riding around in vans. You know, I did all that stuff. And I look at it and I reflect on that. I'm like, I did all of that, didn't make hardly no money. And granted, I worked hard as an entrepreneur, but if I compare the two, it was far more harder to make little money in corporate America than it is to make a lot of money as an entrepreneur. So we have to weigh the options in that way and understand that, you know, some people have been through a whole lot more. Some people are in worse circumstances, and you don't want to take for granted the opportunity that you have before you. In America, especially if you here or wherever you are, if you have exposure to free enterprise like you have with this industry, you need to take advantage of it, because not only can it position you in a way to where you have limitless income, but also you experience a whole number of tax savings that will blow your mind as an entrepreneur. And I didn't understand that at first, but you save a whole lot more in taxes than people that don't make money. But again, it's all about educating yourself on the power of being an entrepreneur. But it's been that's been my thing that really keeps me going, because again, being there, seeing people that don't have a shot, that can't do what we do. Even when I deal with the homeless, seeing people losing their home, you have to, I guess, see some of that stuff to know that, hey man, I have a lot to be grateful for. If you're watching this hangout, you have a lot to be grateful for. If you got an email from Shalonda, you got a lot to be grateful for, because you ended up on that list for some reason. You were seeking something. You looking for something. Either you look for a way to market, or you looking for a way to make money. And if you have that opportunity, you need to definitely seize it and go all out for it. Because again, if you don't go all out for your family, if you don't focus on now creating that legacy, who's going to do it for you? The economy is getting worse. Retirement, what? Social Security, what? I wouldn't even count on it. Okay? Don't count on that stuff. Okay? And at the very least, everybody don't want to be rich. I get it. But at the very least, an extra $500,000 a month, how would that change your life? You can do a whole lot with that. That would change a whole lot of lives. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, that did. Yes, that did. Now, before we go, I do want to ask you, how can everybody get in contact with you? What's the best way to reach you if they want to connect with you or that kind of thing?
Okay, well, you all can reach me on Facebook, not my personal profile, please. Can't have any more friends. But you can go to facebook.com/connect with Reginald. And that is my business page.
You said Connect with Reginald?
Connect with Reginald. That is my business page. And you can connect in that way. And while she's typing, I'm going to give you something else that I forgot to say. Okay? Another thing is, if you look at how and why most people fail in this industry, is not because it don't work. It's not because they're not getting the right information. It's a lot of things I can say, but one of the main things is they either give up too fast or they're not consistent enough. So you don't want to give up too quick before you give yourself time to develop. Most people are coming from corporate America, a job mindset, and this is a process. You have to go through the process, and sometimes it may take a few months. Sometimes it may take a full year or even a couple years. It took me a couple years. I wasn't listening. I was just doing whatever I wanted to do. But you have to give yourself time to go through that process. And on that process, to make money during the holidays or any day, you have to be more consistent than anybody else. If you are consistent, regardless of how you feel about promoting your business or not, you will see results. Sometimes they may not come right away. Sometimes they may not even come when you think they are. But people are watching everything that you do. And they're just like, yeah, I'm just going to see how long they're going to do. I know I do it. Okay. If I'm scoping out a sponsor or somebody, I'm going to jump. Like, okay, I'm going to just sit back and watch how long they're going to be doing this. Okay. I'm going to watch how long they're going to do it. And if you are consistent, you will be amazed. All the seeds that you're planting, the harvest that you're putting out there, you will reap it so fast. It will blow your mind. That's what happened when I had my first 6-figure year. I planted so many seeds, and I didn't see the results right away. But through that consistency, when it was time to reap, it happened so fast. It was just overwhelming and just blew my mind.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. You're right. The watchers, they are always watching. I always think that song, The Watchers. You know what I'm talking about? It has a dope beat to it. But anyways, there's a whole nother time in my life. But but yes, that's very good. Thank you so much, Reginald, for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you more than you know. And I know you'll have a very blessed holiday season, prosperous, and I plan on staying in touch with you to see what's next. Yes. I'm excited to find out and, see everything blow up again for you. Now that you're on a new level, just new levels. You were so right about the entrepreneur life. It's way easier. I used to wait tables, and I would literally work 14-hour days, waiting tables on my feet, and then like cocktail at clubs at night, and didn't even realize how much grinding I was doing, making money, but did a lot for that money. Was on my legs all day long, carrying plates, food, drinks, just, you know what I mean? So you are right on it. Thank you so much. I have put the information on the side, guys. Connect with Reginald on Facebook. You know, if you want to take him to the next level, realize he's a 7-figure earner. So, you know, you might have to put a little skin in the game to play. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you put yourselves in the circles of individuals who have what you want and can directly tell you how to get it. Make it a great day, everybody. Go share some smiles. Keep smiling. Thank you, Reginald. Anything you want to say? Any last words?
Oh, I already just said it. I gave the benediction.
All right. Amen and amen. Bye, everybody.